Okay guys, welcome back to Crypto Kings Down Under. You're with Arden here. Just going to do a little Bitcoin update. If you like the content that you see, please give this video a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as check the description for the link to our free Discord. We can continue the conversation there, and we've got live trade updates, a lot of educational stuff if you're new to crypto or if you're experienced. We've got stuff on trading bots, staking, liquidity pools, as well as basic TA and charting. So I'll jump into the Bitcoin USDT chart for the daily. Now if you were watching the last video, we had spoken about this golden cross that we'd put in and how we'd also tested this upper channel here that we're making, and we're expecting a pullback. So we had the RSI very high, and when we know when we get the RSI up around 70-75, we tend to have either a blow off for a little bit or a pullback. So we're seeing that pullback that we're anticipating. Unfortunately, we have come back down below the 21 EMA. So the 21 exponential moving average and the 55 are the two that Leon and I focus on. When they cross with the 21 to the upside, that's the golden cross. When they cross the other way, that, like here, that is the death cross and indicates a prolonged bearish trend, as the golden cross indicates a bullish trend. Now if we zoom in a little bit, like I said, unfortunately we've closed the day yesterday below the 21, but we have bounced off of the 55 EMA almost perfectly, and we're sitting there now forming potentially a doji. We'll have to see where this finishes for the day. Hopefully we get a bounce, or we at least close this as like a morning star or a little doji, which can indicate a trend reversal. So things are still looking okay for now. If we break this, I would anticipate that we're going to come and test the bottom of this channel that we've been putting in. So you can see on the daily we've been putting in this even channel for quite some time. Now we had also discussed that, as well as the channel that we're putting in, we were putting in an ascending triangle. So we'd broken to the upside, broken out the top of that trend line here from that ascending triangle pattern, and we're really happy with that. But you can see here we've hit our head on what's now forming a channel, and we've been rejected, and we haven't held support on the trend line of that ascending triangle. So yeah, looks as though we could potentially bounce here and get back above it, which would be great, and continue the bullish momentum. However, if we break down, I think the target areas are either going to be this trend line here, lower trend line for the channel, or a couple of these inefficiencies. So if we jump down to the 4 hourly, you guys will know that I follow these inefficiencies in price, which is basically anywhere where there's a significant move in a candle with no wicks down filling the gap. And you can see this perfectly played out. So inefficiency here, price ran up, got exhausted, had to come back down and fill those missing orders there. Created another inefficiency here, you see it get filled. So we've been doing that, filling these inefficiencies. Now we've got a couple of small ones here. I guess you could almost not really call that one. A little bit of one there, we haven't had a wick into here. Now we've come down to meet it. But this one here is probably more significant for me. Could we drop a bit lower, and even if we wick down and fill that, certainly see that becoming possible, and probably not many others. You know, there's one here that got filled, one here that's been filled. This one's pretty much our last one in recent times that hasn't been filled. So I could expect to see a wick down to these levels, which I'll mark up for you. Let's say lower end 41,400, and the upper end, and remember these inefficiency fills can fill 100%, 50%. They're just a guide. So 42k down to 41,400. I would say that'd be my area of interest to the downside. Now, we've put in the death cross on the 4 hourly, but remember that's not as significant. We have these quite a lot of the time. They go around and go through. It's the daily where we want to see the, I guess, the golden cross hold and stay in play. So have a look at that now. Could we see a dump? We could see a dump and a wick down to fill this inefficiency and then recover on the same day. Would be really good, and then bullish momentum continue. Now, the other thing we spoke about for Bitcoin the other day was the Bitcoin dominance and how the alts are performing. So right on cue, we identified this the other day, that the Bitcoin dominance was dropping, which is why you were seeing the altcoins pump, and we had moved quite a long way away from the moving averages. So we put in the death cross, which was good for alts, because we want to see that. We want to see Bitcoin rise in price, and we want to see the Bitcoin dominance go down, which would mean that the whole market's moving up and the altcoins are moving at a faster pace, outpacing Bitcoin, basically. So leading to an alt season and an overall bull market. So what we did speak about after putting in this death cross was we were very far away from the moving averages, and historically you will see that when price moves a long way away, it'll move back up to touch the averages, like here, here, massive drop here, spikes back up and either breaks through for a time or hits the moving averages before continuing its overall direction. So what we anticipated with this was we were going to have a breather in the alts, and the alts were going to back off in price, or they were going to stabilize and Bitcoin was going to have another run. Now, we didn't see the surge or the run in Bitcoin. What we basically saw was Bitcoin holding roughly its levels at 43,500, and the alts having some drawdown. So we did talk about that as well. Let me just pick a random alt, something that we were looking at, I guess, Polkadot, and we were looking at how the alts were pumping and were moving away from those moving averages as well. So you always want to see them have a breather, return to the moving average. Unfortunately, now we're seeing some of them break through those averages, but a lot had run right up. This touch here on Elron Gold, we would have liked that to have held before making the run up. Would have definitely given us more confluence to the fact that we're looking bullish again. But you can see here, like Ethereum pulling away from the moving averages, really hard pump for a week and a half, and then pulling back to the moving averages. So that's what we want to see. It is good to give the market that breather before running up again. The unfortunate thing is some of these haven't held those moving averages, so we'll just have to see how the alts play out. But couple of things that are definitely looking good is that Bitcoin dominance doing exactly what we thought it would do. Maybe we come up here, we bleed out for the alts a little bit more for a couple of days, see that reversal and see the Bitcoin dominance come back down, and hopefully see a bit of a rally in Bitcoin and then a rally in the alts after that. So keep an eye on this moving average here, the 55 on the daily, and we'll see how things play out. I would think to the upside, we now have inefficiency forming here. So upside targets, I'm definitely looking for Bitcoin to move back up into these price ranges, back up to the 45.3, and then onward from there. To the downside, 42k. If we fail that, 41,400, and if we fail that, it'll be somewhere along this trend line here for this channel. But I guess for now we just keep our eyes on it, and if you made some good trades and had taken profit, then potentially now is a good time to dollar cost average into some of these alts, which you can see have had decent drawdowns from recent highs. Chili's, 30% pullback. Where was FTM? A lot of the coins that have had a good run now pulled back to those moving averages and below, and back to our entries back here. So any of those projects that you were looking into and you missed the run, go back and revisit them now. It's probably a good time to get in. Until the next one though, yeah, please follow us on the Discord, come and join us there. More trading updates and trade calls, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.